going to go ahead and hit record. So we're recording now. And like I said, I'll just do the intro and we'll get straight into it.
All okay. Right? Okay. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, hey, I'm so excited to have Amy Ray on with us today. And she's going to tell us all about her business and how she got started in her business and what she's got going on right now that could help you in your business. So welcome, Amy. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Hey, yeah. Again, my name is Amy Ray.
Oh.
I am a hearing wife of 10 years, a mom to 6 kids, a passionate business owner. I partner with mindset and business consistent in their own business with their content. You froze a bit, did I?
Yeah, you were really choppy.
I was.
Yeah.
And there's no way to hang on just a second.
Okay.
I don't know if maybe this makes a difference. I don't know. I closed my stuff out too. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it does. I'm really not sure. But you can pick it up just straight from introduce yourself. Because right now it seems to be going okay.
Okay.
So we'll make it work.
Right. Okay. So yes, again, my name is Amy Ray, and I am a God-fearing wife of 10 years. I am a mom to 6 kids, and I am a passionate business owner. I partner with mindset and business coaches, helping them repurpose their videos and podcasts so they save time and they stay consistent within their content.
I think that's so important for us as business owners to repurpose, and because it saves so much time, we're not always churning out and having to work so hard to create new stuff when we have fantastic stuff that's already at our hands and we can just reuse it. So I love that you fill that gap for us as business owners, as coaches. What was the catalyst moment for you that seemed to propel you into this business?
Well, my catalyst moment was the last look that I received from my ex-boss when I had to leave my job to go to the school for my daughter. I have 2 children who are special needs children. It's really, really important for me to be able to control my schedule. And so that was the very first moment that I realized I needed to do something different. And going into repurposing content, I actually started out as a general virtual assistant, of course, offering everything to everyone in the world, as most of us do. And I was pretty lucky. I found a coach that I really liked, and she helped me zone in on the skill sets that I have to be able to help my clients and to be able to help other business owners. And so during that time, I pivoted from being a general virtual assistant to a content repurposing specialist. And so I've been doing that since the end of November.
I think that's fantastic that you started broad and then learned where you really fit in and what that gap was that was needed in the market, and said, okay, now that I've kind of tested everything, this is where I really shine and where I can really fit in and help. And so I think that's great that your journey took you in that path. So I want to take advantage of the fact that you are here and let you know that like my audience is made up of very ambitious go-getter business women. And typically they do all have their own business, their own website, they're writing blogs, all the standard things. And
Right.
so I know consistency with content is so important, and consistency in creating the content, but also putting it out there in social media, and that repurposing, taking little snippets from a blog post, from a podcast, and reusing that. And that is your specialty. So what are your top suggestions for us as business owners for repurposing that content to make our lives easier?
Okay. So what I would really suggest is to make sure that you know exactly where you are comfortable, how you are comfortable delivering your main content type, because it's important to have, it's not just you create your content and then you're going to repurpose. You have to have a plan in place. With everything in life, a plan is needed. and that's so true for repurposing as well. So you want to make sure you know exactly where you're comfortable, how you're comfortable delivering your main content piece. So if you are delivering basically through videos, if that's what you really love to get down even more as a social media post and use it as a teaser for that blog post. That blog post can be used as a teaser for your video content. Another thing is, another tip with this is that repurposing content is not the same as cross-posting or copy-pasting. It is not the same thing. You can't just take a blog post and copy paste it into LinkedIn as an article and think that that's repurposing. That's only copy pasting from one place to another. Repurposing is going through it, editing it, because of course, when you are, if videos are your thing, when you're creating your blog post, you don't want to put everything that you have in your video into that blog post, because you want to lead those who are seeing the blogs, who might be auditory people and like to receive information by listening. They're going to skim right through that blog post. They're going to see the link for the video and they're going to go, ooh, a link to the video. So you want to make sure that you still have enough relevant content and even more content in the video than you would in the blog post, or in your blog post more than you would in your videos if your blog is your main content piece.
That's really helpful. And I know that's really helpful for me as I'm learning how to do some of that. And I know I had hired you kind of as a test run to see what would this look like, and I absolutely
Right.
loved the result. And I can't wait to work with you more on it as well. I know that for me, I've learned over this last year that, and I know you and I've talked about this before, I learned that I really don't work well for myself when I go to try to write a blog post. If I go try to write it first, everything comes to me more in that auditory way. And so I need to speak it out first. So I may need to do the video first and then turn it into a blog post, and then turn it into some little snippets that I can use. And that's one of those areas that I know that I'm really working on, just my own consistency of actually doing that. Not just sticking with the video, but actually taking it further and doing those other pieces. And it's, I can totally see the benefit of that, not just from the aspect of cutting time, but I love what you said about, like, you can't just copy paste. It's not the same. And I know I've been guilty of that. I've taken a post that I've got, and I've gone and created an article on LinkedIn, And it's done well there, but I can see where you have to, it's one of those things where you have to know the audience and who you're, what that audience on LinkedIn is looking for, something a little bit different than what somebody that's just going to your blog is going to be looking for, even though they are both potentially business owners. There is a different level of expectation there, I believe. And I think some of my videos that I've posted out on LinkedIn, I'm not real consistent on LinkedIn. It's like every now and then I think, oh, I could probably put this out there. And, but I've gotten good response when I have. And so I think that there's kind of a little untapped potential over there that I'm not taking advantage of. But at the same time, I know that I can't try to do it all. I can't try to focus on it all. So if I can try to focus on these videos, these interviews, get them up on YouTube, get the blog post that goes along with it, that takes these nuggets like what you just shared and gets that into something that's easily, you could read it real quick and then go watch the full interview and do those pieces, and then get the little parts where you would, for promoting it out on social media. It's like taking just those baby steps. Like, so I've been focused on just getting consistent with doing these videos and doing these interviews, and then take it to the next step, and then get consistent with that one next step, right? And then take it to the next step and get consistent with that one next step. So then you're building. So as these become easier to do, with the interviews, they've gotten to where they're very routine. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how I'm going to edit it. I know what's happening, right? I know all the parts and pieces. So now I'm at a step where it's like, okay, now I'm ready to add that extra layer of work to it that makes it more impactful for my customers and more consumer friendly for different learning styles.
Yes. And I also wanted to add to that, because there are people who it's all videos. Videos is where they're comfortable first, but there are also people where they're comfortable with blog posts. And I mentioned videos and blogs posts because those are the two main ways most online business owners are sharing content. For me personally, my blog posts are my main pieces of content. That's where I am personally most comfortable. So I take my blog post and I use it as a video script for my videos. So I just wanted
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because that's not where I'm familiar. I'm going the other way. So yeah, that's good. Do you have any other tips that you'd like to share with us real quick before we move on to one of my favorite questions to ask all my guests? Do you have anything else that you wanted to share?
I would say right now, with everything that has been going on in the world, there is no better time to start repurposing content. And if you have been in business for any length of time, then you have content that is still relevant right now. So while you might be a mom and you have kids at home because the school has closed and maybe they're school-age kids and you're not used to that routine anymore of them being with you during the day and you're struggling with content, go back through the content that you previously had, especially if you're a coach and mindset is everything right now.
Definitely.
And how we approach it and think about things. Yeah. So that would be my last tip.
Very good. I know I have done that. I'll go back through my journals and see, like, what did I write a year ago that is still relevant now? Like, what did I write that I could then pull out and share with my audience now? Because there's so much in there that I haven't even brought online yet that
right.
I know I'm supposed to. It's just there waiting in my journal.
Right. And it could be super quick. It could be a sentence from what you said in a video. It could be a sentence from a blog post. Turn it into a quote graphic. That's repurposing. That is one of the easiest ways to repurpose your content.
Yes, yes. Okay, so on to the question that I absolutely love to ask all of my all of the women that I have come onto my channel is, what does it mean to you to let God lead in your life and in your business?
It is everything to me. I I believe that God gave me the vision for my business. So essentially He's also given me permission to manage it. I believe that God is the CEO. He is the owner of this business over here. I have daily prayer meetings with Him about, where I'm at, where I need to be. And God has never failed me. Just the fact of me doing this interview with you today is actually something that I had discussed a couple of weeks ago in a prayer to God. And so it just fits. He's never failed me. It is everything. I think God should be number one. He should be first. It is ultimately His business, and I take everything to Him.
That's beautiful. That's exactly how I run my business. We have those I won't say daily, but almost daily,
Right.
almost daily, staff meetings where
yeah, it's not perfect.
right. Yes. But I look for that direction. And I know I've shared that with my audience before. I look for that direction. I ask, what is number one today? What's the number one thing that I need to get done? What is next? And I get my to-do list. The Holy Spirit gives me 2 or 3 things, and I know until those 2 or 3 things are done, I really don't need to go back and ask what's next. I need to make sure I'm completing those, and that I'm not putting it off, that I'm not delaying it, that I'm obedient to what He's already given me. And I was listening to something just yesterday, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but it was talking about that delayed, waiting. When you've been given that instruction and you wait, and you haven't been told to wait, but you've been given the instruction, and you're letting fear get in the way, and you're afraid to start, that if you don't just go start, that's disobedience. It's not, and I know one of our pastors has said that delayed obedience is disobedience. It's the same, And so to know that, I know with confidence that if He's given me something to do, He's also going to help me do it. And even though I might be afraid of whatever it is, afraid to ask for the interview, afraid to step out and do that video about whatever that subject is that He's given me, I know that when I do step out, if I just take that step, it's just like, the Israelites on the side of the Jordan, and they've got to take that step before the water parts. We've got to take that first step and show we're all in. And then when we do that, then He shows up and He's like, okay, I'm here. I'm right behind you. I'm just waiting for you to take that one step. I'm right here. Now let's push forward. And it's so reassuring to know that and to do business with God. I consider Him my CEO as well. And He's the one in charge. Again, He gave me the dream, just like He gave you the dream. He told me to do this business. And so I know that I can't fail because He's in it. And it's not that there's been like instant success either. He has been teaching me so much over the last few years as I've been doing this business, that there are pieces that I needed to go through the trial. I needed to not have instant success, because how am I going to help others through their trial if I didn't go through that, So there are things that I know He has shown me and taken me through, that even though it may not look like it makes a whole lot of sense to some people around me, they're like, why are you doing that? That doesn't, like, I thought you were doing this. Why are you doing this? Because God told me to,
Right. And sometimes it doesn't look like what we think it's going to look like. I
Exactly.
remember because when I started out as the general virtual assistant, I actually started my business at the end of June last year. And if God had not kind of taken me down some of the roads that I went down, my business wouldn't be where it is right now. And so there's definitely a learning curve in this, and God is always trying to teach us something. So
Yeah, exactly. I look at, there is reason and purpose in the journey itself also. And it's not just about the destination and that end result, but what are we learning and how are we growing in the journey to get there? And it's a beautiful thing. And even though it might frustrate us, and we may have times when we're like crying out at night, like, why is it not working yet? And we have those moments. And I think all of us have in our businesses where it's like, I'm doing all the right things and it's not working. And God, you said I was supposed to do this.
yeah.
I've had that. We've had those kind of discussions. And all
Absolutely.
and in those moments, I know for me, like I've got you, girl. You're doing the right things. Keep going. Don't give up. And he'll tell me, it's like, now I'm going to be honest. He told me like a year ago from almost today, but like about a year ago this time, he's like, your breakthrough is close. And I'm like, so I've spent like then the next months, I'm like, where?
Right. But I bet you learned so much during that time too.
Oh, totally.
That you wouldn't have known it otherwise.
Exactly.
There's plenty of time. I hear God all the time ask me, where's your faith? Especially when I start getting off track and I start letting all those fears come in. And that is like what I hear in my heart, in my head. Where's your faith? Or whenever I read scripture or go through my devotionals, it's always about faith. And so God wants us to trust him with everything that we have, and that includes our businesses.
Exactly. And for me, I know that that's what this journey has been, is just like this huge exercise in trust. Do you trust me? When I give you an instruction, will you trust me to do that? That's the right thing. And there are things that I've done that I know he was very clear in the instruction he gave me, and I did it, and I don't see the result yet. It's like, I don't even know why he had me do that. And he'll tell me it's about the seeds. You've planted seeds. It's about the seeds. You keep going. I'll take care of germinating and watering those seeds, but you keep going. And so I have to kind of leave some of those things and not look back and think, why did I even bother doing that?
Right.
Because there is some purpose. There's definitely some reason he had me do some of the things that I've done, and where I still don't see result from it that I thought maybe I would. But again, that's what I'm expecting, not what he was wanting me to do it for. So sometimes it is just, do you trust me? And will you do this just out of sheer trust, even if nothing comes out of it, just because I asked you to? Will you do it?
Right. Yeah. And it's definitely about the seeds, and and that's why I help people, my clients, with content, is because content is the seed of our business. It is everything.
It definitely is.
And being consistent with it and showing up and continuously speaking with your audience is highly important for visibility. And so, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it has been such a pleasure talking to you and learning about just kind of how you got into it, what happened. I love that it was based on like, my family needs me to be able to be flexible, and it's not happening here. So God, you got to give me a different way. Right. And I love it. He delivered. He gave you a different way. So how can we connect with you?
Well, I have a group right now, and it's called Female Entrepreneurs Working Together and Repurposed Content for Coaches. That's where I would love for anybody who wants to connect with me there. I go live every Thursday, in the morning, just talking about various things. There is an opportunity for the members to increase their visibility by going live as a featured Friday entrepreneur. That is everything to me, is helping other business owners increase their visibility and grow their business. And so that is definitely what that group is for.
That's beautiful. And I think I'm on tap in a couple of weeks to be one of your Friday features.
You are. I'm actually getting ready to send you an email right after this interview.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. I'm excited about that. Well, that's awesome, Amy. Thank you so much for being here. And I will put a link to your group and to your website in my comments of the video so that everybody can get in there and get in contact with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. And again, y'all connect with Amy and get in her group. She has great ideas and ways and teachings for you to help you to repurpose. And then, if it's something where I know we've talked about, we just got finished with my money mindset mastery Facebook challenge. And one of the things in there is once you decide, on some certain goals in your business, like what can you let go of? And I know sometimes it's that social media, it's that content repurposing, it's that like, I need to hire that out. And so y'all, if that was something that came up for you, definitely, consult with Amy, see if she's going to be a good fit for you. And maybe she's that answer you've been looking for on how to get your content repurposed without it taking your time to do it. And so definitely reach out to her if that struck a chord for you. And we'll catch you next time.
All right.
Yay. All right, cool. That was great. Yay.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.